What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Clash Royale video. Now today we're going to be trying out a really interesting challenge that I've been wanting to do for quite a while now. This is the 5-card challenge where you take 5 cards and these are the only cards you can use throughout the entire battle. I have the Golem, Lava Hound, and P.E.K.K.A in here just because I won't be able to play those cards on the battlefield. I'll have to drop one card at a time and cycle between this entire deck right here. So I can only use the Zap, the Mega Minion, the Skeleton Army, the Miner, and the Musketeer for now. I'll most likely be changing around this deck in between battles just in case it doesn't actually work out for me. But we're going to see what happens and see if we can get any wins using this deck. We'll most likely lose every battle, but hopefully we can have a little bit of fun. Our first opponent is CJLX Broken, leader of esports, and our first card is a Zap and a Musketeer. So we can play down either of these cards right here. I'm going to start off by dropping down my Musketeer, and until I get that P.E.K.K.A in my deck, I can actually cycle 2 cards at a time. Let's just go ahead and zap these minions right here, as well as drop down my Miner, and now he has a Lava Hound in front of those minions. So I'm going to need to drop down my Skeleton Army because I don't have anything else to drop, and maybe my Mega Minion here to try to get some damage done. We have cycled back to my Musketeer though, so maybe she can do some damage over here. Let's also go ahead and zap all these Lava Pups as well as that Mega Minion on my tower, but they are doing so much damage and they are already about to take out my tower. Less than a minute into the game, my tower is below 200 hit points. So that did not work out so well. Let's go ahead and throw a Miner at his left lane tower to see if my Musketeer can get off any shots over here. He'll most likely defend it and his log takes out my Musketeer. Let's just drop down some skeletons to distract these minions to keep our tower alive for just a little bit longer. The skeletons do make it to the tower, do a little bit of damage over there. We have gotten his tower down to 1369, but ours is currently sitting at 91. So this right here is not going good so far. I'm going to drop down my Mega Minion and a Musketeer to see if I can do any damage over here on the left lane. My next card that I'm able to use is a Zap spell, but he went ahead and fireballed all my troops right there, and now all I can do is, I guess, zap the tower as well as throwing a Miner back there. And I still don't have any air support, so in comes a Skeleton Army to distract that Mega Minion. And now that I have my own Mega Minion, I'm going to drop it down in just a second to finish off his Miner, and then hopefully that Mega Minion as well. We actually got his left lane tower down to 719 hit points, but he has officially taken down both of our towers now. Our left one is at 91, so technically he can take that whenever he wants. And he just took down our right lane tower with that Mega Minion and Lava Hound push. So in comes some more troops right here. I'm going to have to go ahead and zap those minions and use my Miner as a distraction. Not exactly sure why I'm trying so hard to defend against this battle. There's no way we're going to come back and win this. Down goes the Skeleton Army. That's the only thing I can drop right now, trying to distract all those troops. Throw in a Mega Minion and a Musketeer to see if we can do any actual damage back here. Let's go ahead and zap this tower and throw in our Miner back there again. See if we can actually take one tower against this guy. If we can get at least one tower, I will be happy, but he is trying so hard to defend. Even though he knows he's going to win, he doesn't want us to get that tower. So about 300 and let's see, 27 hit points is as low as we're going to get that tower. Let's see if our Miner can do any extra damage over there. I really just want one crown off this guy. Just one crown with this deck and I'd be happy. But he's going to go ahead and take the victory. 2 crowns to 0. At least he didn't get a 3 crown against us. So let's see what we can do to make this deck just a little bit better. I think we might go ahead and put in a Hog Rider for now. Let's go ahead and replace the Miner with the Hog Rider. See what else we can change out here. I might want to keep the Zap, but I might need some arrows in there instead. So let's see what the arrows can do instead of the Zap, just in case we find any more minions. Furnace can kind of be used on offense and defense, so let's go ahead and replace the Mega Minion maybe? No, let's go ahead and replace the Musketeer for the Furnace. Maybe a Goblin Barrel in here for the Mega Minion, and for the Skeleton Army, I think we might just go ahead and throw in an Ice Wizard. Ooh, we might be able to use the Graveyard for our third battle. That would be a really interesting deck, but for now, let's go ahead and replace the Skeleton Army with a Princess. This is going to be very, very hard considering I have absolutely no defense at all in this deck. My only defensive cards are the Goblin Barrel if I have to, Princess, and of course the Furnace, so I'm not exactly sure how well this is going to work. Probably not at all. But my goal in the next battle is to get at least one crown. All I want is one tower using this deck. So here we go against Deadshot from UZB. I did have 2 cards available to use in my starting hand, so I threw down my Hog Rider and my Princess on his right lane tower, and he's going to go ahead and drop down a Furnace of his own as well as some 3 Elixir minions. The Princess actually did about 400 damage to that tower, and his Furnace goes down as well as mine by his Fire Spirits. So let's go ahead and throw in a Goblin Barrel over there at his tower and see what he does to counter that. I know he just used a Fireball, but he will also counter with some skeletons. So let's throw in my arrows at those skeletons and also hit that tower for a little bit of damage, and then go ahead and throw in another Hog Rider down his right lane. Let's see if our Hog Rider can make it to his tower, and he actually has Elite Barbarians. There is no way I can counter this push with just 3 Elixir and a Princess. So my tower just got wrecked by those Elite Barbarians, and now I'm going to go ahead and take out my Princess as well. There is absolutely no way that we're going to win this battle. Let's just throw down another Goblin Barrel and some arrows to predict the Skeleton Army on his tower over there. But he went ahead and zapped my Goblins and they did no damage. Sending in another Hog Rider and Princess push down his right lane tower. I'm also going to go ahead and drop down my Furnace because I really want to commit to this right lane to see if I can get at least one crown this entire battle. He does have a Mega Minion and a Furnace coming down my right lane as well. Hopefully my Princess can finish off that Mega Minion, but he will go ahead and take her out. And now the only thing I could have done right right here is drop down another goblin barrel. Let's go ahead and arrow his elite barbarians as he drops down some more minions. Drop down another princess. He's going to take my second tower of the battle, and now he's advancing towards my king tower for the 3 crown. Furnace to finish off these troops right here, throwing a goblin barrel at his right lane tower. There is absolutely no way anyone can win a battle doing this challenge. I would go ahead and ask you guys to do the challenge for yourself. I really don't want you to lose any trophies or any gems in any challenges. I knew we were going to lose doing this challenge. I was just hoping it'd be a little bit of fun. But there goes that grand challenge. I obviously just wasted 100 gems right here. So let's go ahead and open up this 4-win chest. 4,000 gold, 3 zaps, 38 royal giants, 7 mortars, 1 clone spell, and 13 giants to finish off the chest. Now I would normally go ahead and wrap up the video here because the grand challenge just ended and I don't want to spend another 100 gems. But I will go ahead and create another deck that I think might actually work and go into a classic challenge to test it out. So here we have the last deck that we're going to attempt to use. We are going to be using the Golem, the Graveyard, the Clone Spell, Arrows, and 3 Musketeers. The cards that I can't use are going to be the Lava Hound, Royal Giant, and Sparky, and I'm going to see if I can actually get a 3 crown with this deck. I've got the Golem, of course, 3 Musketeers to do a lot of damage as long as they don't get taken out, Clone Spell just in case I get the opportunity to use it, and a Graveyard for whenever the tower locks onto my Golem. I have realized that with only 5 cards, you're most likely not going to be able to defend a push using this challenge, so my goal for this next battle is to try to get a 3 crown as soon as possible and just go straight for that victory. So instead of a grand challenge, let's start a classic challenge and see if we can get any wins using this crazy deck. So here we found JD from We Rise as 1. Good luck to him, and the only card that I can play right now is a Golem and some arrows. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop down a Golem behind my king tower for now, going towards this guy's right lane tower. Luckily, he does drop down some minions because the only card I could have used right there were some arrows. Of course, the arrows finished off that minion horde, and now all I have to do is drop down a clone spell. So down goes my clone spell, as well as a graveyard on this guy's right lane tower. I have a graveyard and 4 Golemites heading towards this guy's right lane right now. The Inferno Tower actually finished off all of my Golemites. The Skeleton Army finished off my graveyard. I don't have any elixir to use my 3 Musketeers, and this guy's totally going to take my tower right here. Of course, the one time I throw in a really heavy deck and rely on the Golem to carry the rest of my troops, the opponent that I go up against is of course using an Inferno Tower, and he shuts us down immediately. So now we have 3 Musketeers going down his right lane, and I have nothing else to use right now except for a Golem. I don't even have the elixir for that. He's going to go ahead and fireball our Musketeers. They do get some shots off on the tower, but they don't really do enough damage to finish it off. So down goes another Golem because that was the only card I could play right there. And I'm also going to go ahead and throw in some arrows as soon as this minion horde comes in hand. And there you have it. There is the Inferno Tower once again. So the only thing I can do right now is a clone spell on top of the Golem and save up for my graveyard to try to drop it on his tower. He went ahead and zapped my clone Golem, popped them into some Golemites, and there is that Skeleton Army once again. So my plan that I thought was going to work obviously is not working at all. This guy is using a Skeleton Army to counter my graveyard every time I drop it. And of course an Inferno Tower to counter my Golem and a Fireball to counter my 3 Musketeers. I did drop down my Golem in front of those 3 Musketeers to try to get something off on this tower over here, but he did have a zap spell and finished off my 3 Musketeers. This was my last ditch effort to try to win with this challenge using this crazy deck, but of course he had every single card to counter ours and we could not even make it to his tower. So yet again, another loss. I'm probably just going to go ahead and lose 2 more times in a row to try to get rid of this challenge. However, I think I might as well just go ahead and end off the video here because all we're going to do if we try anymore is lose. If you guys did enjoy today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you went ahead and smashed that like button down below to show some support, because I basically just gave away 3 free wins and some challenges to some random players. I was really hoping we could get at least 1 win or even 1 tower with this challenge, but it did not work out well for us. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap up the video here. Hopefully you all did enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.